So, welcome to career mode scenario 4, guys, and as you can see already that this is a different scenario in that we have to build a zoo from scratch, like absolute scratch. The only thing available when you start this scenario is this thing, the ticket counter and the entrance. That's it. So I'll tell you tips instead of fully showing because I'm just close to completing the scenario on a gold rating. First things first, you need to have at least 350 guests in the zoo and 3 habitat species. Ignore those requirements and do this thing first. You'll see an island with a bridge over it. Right here. It's not made by me or anything. The terrain editor is kinda disabled for this scenario, so I cannot make an island or something like this. That being said, you should drop down every building at first except the workshop, the trade center, the keeper hut, the staff room, another staff room, the veterinary surgery, the quarantine, which is utmost important in this one, and the research center. Now, you'll need to power all these buildings, so put down a power transformer too. That being said, notice the color changes in this routes. Now this grey route, I should call it, is just for staff members. Only staff members can walk on it. So the guest won't come here and the guest won't be in a bad mood because the guests do get disappointed when they come into vicinity with staff buildings. That is why it is advisable to keep them out of proximity of the guests. Hence the plan I made right here. That being said, after you're done with this, immediately hire 2 Indian peafowls and put them in quarantine. It is very important that you put them in quarantine and start editing the habitat. It's very basic, I should say. Don't take too much time. This is not franchise or sandbox mode. Don't get too creative. Just think of accomplishing your tasks. Save your creativity for franchise and sandbox modes. Build a basic enclosure and put down donation boxes at every viewing window you see. And it is very essential that you put down viewing windows. Like put down alternate viewing windows so it's better for guests. See? Afterwards you'll get about 5 to 10 minutes later you'll get a notification on this side that the animals, the Indian peafowl is quarantine cleared and is ready to be taken to habitat. It is then when you should put them in the habitat, and it is very essential that it should start with Indian peafowls because they are the cheapest animals in this scenario. Also, don't make the same mistake I did. Put down contraceptives on all of them. It is only later that I realized my mistake. It was too late. You see, there are a lot of them in just one enclosure. Once you are done with them, hire a vet and let them, research peacocks so you know how to put down toy enrichments and food enrichments. Both are absolutely important. And in the meanwhile, you start with an information center and toilets. Only spend money on these. Don't set up food or drink stalls. They are useless and they will just drain your money. And they also need to be maintained. That being said, that being said, when you are done putting food and toy enrichments in your peacock enclosure, only then you should go on to the next enclosure. Don't waste time in doing any of the exhibit animals right now, because the bronze medal clearly states that you need 3 habitat species. And most of all, be patient. Do not ever use this fast forward button. Doing so will make your birds or animals age faster, and then they will grow old and die. Don't do that. Just be patient. The guests will come. When you're done with the peacocks, start building your American bison enclosure. The trick is to not have too many flashy animals in the beginning. I started the bison enclosure the second after the peacock because those were the second cheapest animals, and yeah. The same as before, once you're done researching the enrichments, both of the food and toy enrichments for the peacocks, start researching American bison. And once you have bought both the food and toy enrichments for the American bison, and again I'll stress this because the habitat is very far away from the rest of the enclosures, you need to put down a power station so it gets powered. And one more thing I forgot during the peacock enclosure thing, you have to put down info boards everywhere. Info boards, info speakers everywhere. I even did it in the peacock enclosure. Look, I'll show you. See? Once you're done with that, the guests will be at the green, and don't forget to put down donation boxes in every viewing window. Once you're done with that, and the toy and food enrichments for the bison, and it is absolutely essential that you wait at least 15 minutes before you build another enclosure after finishing one enclosure, because the starting budget is 70 to 80 million. That's it. So you don't need to go bankrupt, or otherwise there will be a problem, I guess. The next enclosure will be timber wolves. They are the third cheapest animals found in the scenario. And keep in mind that you cannot have more than 2 adults and 1 baby in that enclosure, because otherwise they start fighting and it will lead to injuries, and it will lead to vets being indisposed and not able to research anything, which will cause complications later on. So for now, see, do the same thing as before. Drop down donation boxes, information panels. It's broken. Never mind. Information panels and everything else. And most importantly, in every habitat, put down a hard shelter. power the facility, and you're done. After this is done, you just need to put down other optional stuff like information booths, I should say, information centers, and toilets. That is it for the bronze medal. Then all you need to do is wait. That is why I did not upload the entire video of me, building it from scratch, because it took me nearly 6 hours yesterday and today, because it also took me 2 attempts, because the first attempt I did everything like I used to in sandbox mode in Zoo Tycoon. Put down lights, plants, everything, and it just cost me a lot of money. So now you can see and make sure to save your game after every 15 to 20 minutes, because sometimes it crashes, and yeah, there's that. They have yet to put out a patch that doesn't include a crash. Anyway, that being said, after you do this 3 habitat upgrades, you just focus on maintaining order in the zoo. And by order, I don't mean hire a security guard. Security guard and mechanics are the least of your concerns in the beginning, because there's not many stuff that will break down, but just in case, hire one mechanic, but not a security guard. And also, don't get a workshop. See, I've still not got a workshop or a security guard. They are kinda useless in this scenario. Once you reach 350 guests, it won't take that much time. You'll get a notification that your zoo prices, the admission tickets, are a bit underpriced, so you can increase them just a bit. Say from 3, increase them to 5, and then get the 4th enclosure. This one, the Aldabra giant tortoise. Keep in mind that the Aldabra giant tortoise and the Indian peafowls, they both reproduce at an alarmingly strong rate. So, put down contraceptives for both of them, in case you do the same mistakes as me. See? The same deal as before. One more thing was broken. There are vandals in my audience, my zoo guests, I mean. See? Anyway, after the Aldabra giant tortoise is done and you're done researching its habitat enrichments, which means both food and toy enrichments, and their welfare is in the green, you should wait a while before doing these. Just put down 2 in the beginning. The first thing I put down was the burrowing cockroaches. You can see them, this red thingies. Giant burrowing cockroaches. And the lemon tree frog. These were my first things that I upgraded here, that I put in the exhibit enclosures because the silver medal states that you need 4. So put down 2 and then wait for a little while because these are cash grabbers. These will give you a lot of cash. Look at this. I'm not kidding, guys. These will give you a lot of cash. That being said, next you focus your attention on getting a multi-animal enclosure here, the savanna enclosure, which consists of sable antelope, god damn it, how many sable antelopes are there? Seriously? The black wildebeest and the nyala. It should be right here. See? Nyala. I had thought of putting African buffaloes, but they went out of stock in the animal market. They were present when I started the scenario, though. So this takes a lot of time, by the way, because sometimes they'll give your keepers a run for their money because they are always hungry and sometimes they get to starving pretty quick. So this will take up some time, so just be patient, guys. That being done, after you're done with the food and toy enrichments for both, move on to this one right here, the saltwater crocodiles. Also, I'll tell you which species requires heaters. The Indian peafowl requires heaters. I placed them somewhere. See, here. These are the heaters. The giant tortoise requires heaters. Bison doesn't require heaters. Neither does the timber wolf. These guys require heaters. The antelopes and the wildebeest. So do the saltwater crocodiles. So far I've observed that the saltwater crocodiles are the easiest to maintain because they are not that demanding. But still you should put them later because they are actually a bit expensive when purchasing them in the animal market. After you're done with the saltwater crocodiles and the enrichments and putting down donation boxes are very important, people. You should put them down at every viewing window because that is what gets you the initial income for your zoo, besides the tickets, of course. Once you're done with that, make another habitat right over here. This will be your snow leopard habitat. Where the hell is it? There it is. The snow leopard habitat. I have not put down any enrichments here because I was still researching them. I'm still in the process of researching them. Also, after you're done with the enrichments and toys for snow leopard, put down the bear habitat. That is the final thing. That will get you the gold thing of having 10 habitat species in the zoo. Now, for the staff happiness to be at least 75, do not interfere with the salaries or anything. Just put down a few staff buildings and staff rooms and you'll be fine. Don't worry about that too much. Even if they get their rest regularly and build keeper huts at regular intervals so they don't have to stress themselves too often. Once you do that, the staff happiness should automatically be at 75%. Now, once that is done, focus on the exhibit upgrades. The lemon tree frog aside, then you need to make this one, the golden poison frog. And put contraceptives on all of them because even they reproduce like rabbits, I should say, or even faster than that. Then the Goliath frog. Then the green iguana. When all of these are done, also the question of contraceptives depends on the perspective. If you want to sell them or release them in the wild, you can do that without contraceptives. Just select them, put them in the trade center, then select all of them and give them away or release them in the wild. Up to you. You'll get conservation credits or cash. Now that I have explained everything to you, it's time to save this. And complete the scenario. Because that is it, guys. Nothing else to do. You just need to be patient with this and not be trigger happy with the fast forward. Do not even touch the fast forward button, I should say. And when the inspector comes, do not panic. She is a bitch, sure, but she will only hand you on the spot fines if your animals are sick or dying. That's it. If they are in full health and the welfare is in the green, she won't even dare do anything to your zoo. Now that I've said this much, I'll get to work with it. See, she still gives me 2 stars for education. One final thing before we complete this scenario. Just get anything at this point. Both are good. So, the best thing about exhibit trading is that you don't have to put them in quarantine before you put them in the enclosure. And that is important. The habitat species you had to put in quarantine before you put them in the enclosure, and otherwise they'll take time to acclimatize themselves to the enclosure and they might end up being diseased. So it kinda saves your cash and time, I should say. See? Easy.
When I tasked you with building a zoo, I gave you some pretty ambitious targets to hit. But wouldn't you know it, you hit them all anyway. I think it's high time we dropped that apprentice from your title, huh?
Yep.
And to be candid, I'm particularly glad you hit the profit target, as I paid way over the odds for the land. Frankly, the amount I spent per square foot, you'd think I'd bought a penthouse apartment with solid gold toilets. It was worth it, though. Anything to stop the land going to that dreadful hedge fund. Apparently, they wanted to parcel it up and sell it off to various mining and energy consortiums. They're the sort of people who'd squeeze the oil out of the Mona Lisa if they could.
So there we go, guys. Let's save and pause the game. My main tips are to be patient, to get the staff buildings away from the guests as fast as possible. Get the cheapest exhibits, cheapest animals first, and before you drop them in the exhibits or the habitats, put them through the quarantine. That is all I have to say. And most importantly, be patient. This scenario requires a lot of patience. Imagine it took me 6 hours. 6 actual hours to stream this. Not stream this, I should say, to make this shit from scratch. That is why I didn't upload a video of me basically building everything. You would have gotten annoyed watching it. I kept it as short as possible. That being said, it kind of worked, didn't it? So anyway, that's us done with the scenario 4. Next up will be scenario 5. So stay tuned, guys, and keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. And let's just hope we don't have to build anything from scratch again, because this was really a test of my patience. Don't know about you, but yeah, I'm not that much of a patient kind of guy. So yeah, guys, stay tuned and keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. And take care.